Welcome everyone. Thank you for your presence. Namaste. This yoga practice will be about compassion. The word Karuna in Sanskrit means compassion, and it is felt as a stirring in the heart to help one another through pure, selfless love. Compassion acknowledges the tender and painful aspects of life that we all must endure. And meditation on the principle of compassion is a means of erasing our own hatred, cruelty, and fear, and replacing these traits with love, kindness, and a deeper understanding for others. We will practice our yoga with a sense of compassion towards ourselves so that the body will be happy to cooperate and the mind can remain serene and happy. And we'll try to cultivate a respectful and forgiving and compassionate attitude throughout the practice. Now sit with me for a few moments to center in this idea of compassion. Evoke a spirit of compassion from your heart with reverence and create a sacred space and a special time for this practice. Breathing deeply and completely to increase compassion, sympathy, forgiveness, and mercy. Expanding compassion on the inhalation, lifting up through the crown of the head, broadening the shoulders, back. And as you exhale, condense towards the center of the core, drawing the navel to the spine, and pressing the sitting bones deep into the earth. Root down through the sitting bones, the way the lotus sinks its roots deep into the mud. And on the inhale, rise up through the crown of the head like the lotus blossom opening in the sunlight, pure and enlightened. The Tibetan mantra Om Mani Padme Hum symbolizes the union of method and wisdom, or Shakti and Shiva as we refer to them in yoga. And the poetic translation is that the wish-fulfilling jewel is in the lotus of the heart. That which you desire most is attained through the love and compassion of the heart. Lotus, pure and enlightened, like the Buddha. Enlightened in thought, word, and action. Now, we'll begin a compassionate practice, standing on our feet. And just giving our body time to loosen up in the joints, muscles, ligaments. We're going to circle the head, turning the nose like the minute hand of a clock, inhaling up to 12 o'clock, and exhaling down to 6. Continuing to inhale as you lift up, and exhale as you turn down. And then change directions. Rotate the nose counterclockwise. Remain strong in both legs, hugging the muscles to the bone, pulling the navel to the spine. And now come back to resting center with the head, and move the shoulders, rolling the elbows up and around, circle. And taking notice of each part of that movement, where if there are any rough spots, grinding noises maybe, and change the circles the opposite way. And even hearing those pops and clicks with compassion. And then take the wrists and circle the wrists here. And opposite direction. Stretching all the palms, the fingers. Good. Now hold the hips and begin to circle with the hips around and back. Good job. And change direction. Perfect. Bend the knees and sliding the hands down to the knees. Move both knees together in the circle. And the opposite direction. And then bend the knees more, slide them down to the ankles. And straighten one knee and then the opposite, letting the hips and shoulders move whatever direction feels natural. Breathing kindness into the movement, compassion, mercy. And then inhale, lift up to a straight back. And with the hands on the hips, slide the hands down the outside of the legs, exhaling as you roll forward. And inhaling, draw the hands up the inner thighs and around the back of the hips again. Exhaling, bend the knees, slide it down. And inhale, slide back up. Roll the shoulders back, bend the knees. That's perfect. We'll go one more time. Great. Lift the arms up over the head. Take a wide stance. And on the exhale, bring the hands out like a wagon wheel to the bottom. And inhale, raise them back up. And down on the exhale. Inhale, rise. That's it. You got it. And last time, wagon wheel. That's it. Let the arms rest here and swing the arms from side to side, twisting. Letting the hands lightly tap the kidneys and the shoulders. That's all. Rest the arms. And then pressing the palms away, turn from side to side, one arm at a time. Becoming more sensitive to the energy in the palms of the hands. Good. Now, one arm at a time, draw into the heart, into the lotus of the heart. And that's perfect. Good. Now, with both palms, lift up to the heart, invert the palms, press up to the sky, and open the arms, bring them back down, bend the knees, lift up, inhale, press, and exhale, open, come back. Last one. Now bring the palms face down through the front of the body, pressing slowly down to the earth. Grounding down through the legs, the soles of the feet. And resting now with palms forward. But we'll come down to kneeling. So if you need to pad your knees, put a blanket under the knees. Or I have a carpet, I have a thick mat. I'm okay with that. And we'll start just awakening the spine with a little articulation, cat and cow. Exhale like an angry cat back. Pulling the navel to the spine. Inhale like a swayback cow and look up. Lift the tailbone, lift the sitting bones. And exhale, curl the tailbone under, pull the navel up. So you get this nutation activated in the sacrum. And you can flex and extend through each segment of the spine, from the tip of the tailbone to the crown of the head. Offering this compassionate breath to each segment of the spine. Then curl the toes under, lift up the knees, keeping them bent, and straighten one leg at a time, beginning to stretch now through the hamstrings, calves. And now release the knees down, resting on the knees, lift the hands, and start to slide back to hero pose. So we come to sit on the heels. If this is uncomfortable, put a cushion underneath the buttocks. Then roll the shoulders back, draw the navel in, and inhale, lengthen up through the lotus of the crown chakra, the Sahasra, or 1,000-petal lotus. And exhale, concentrate, rooting down through the deep mud with the root chakra. Okay. Coming from hero pose to camel pose, lift up the hips, hold on to the back of the waist. And lift up the chest, lift up the throat, And gently arch back, keeping the hips pressing forward. Use strong toes, press the toenails into the floor. Squeeze the buttocks. Find a compassionate version of the pose that you can have fun breathing, but still be merciful if your body is stiff, just getting loosened up. Go easy. And raise up the arms, lift out of the pose. And release hands down. Come to downward dog. Inhaling, lift up through the armpits, lift up in the back of the neck, and bend the knees. And as you exhale, lengthen from the heart to the fingertips, from the tailbone to the heels. Compassionately rest on the inhale and adventurously stretch on the exhale. Step right foot forward to low lunge. Lower the left knee. Press down through the feet. Lift the hands to the front knee. And rest. The peace of the breath. Awaken the jewel and the lotus of the heart. And raise the arms. Through your compassion, actions, words, thoughts, you become like the Buddha. You become a Bodhisattva. Now, release. Bring the hands down to revolve. Left hand on the ground. Lift the right arm up and twist. Expanding in the shoulders as you inhale from fingertip to fingertip. And integrating the shoulder blades into the back and the navel to the spine as you exhale to strengthen the foundation, the intention. Now release the right hand, bring it down. Begin to pivot the back knee, turn the left knee out to the side. You bring that right elbow up onto the knee and then raise the left arm. Inhale, stretching to the fingertips. Then exhale, apply more muscular energy through the groin, the inner thighs. Steady and strong. Compassionate and wise. Then turn face down, hands to the mat. Begin to straighten the front knee. Move the heel forward a little bit as needed so you can lift up the toes and lift up through the crown of the head. Inhale, press down through the back of the heel with a little bend in the knee. And as you exhale, squeeze the kneecap. Tighten the quadricep. Expand your ability to be compassionate, merciful, kind. And exhale, follow that dedication with action. Joining wisdom and action. Shiva and Shakti. And release, stretch, step the right foot back. And lift up the knees for downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Taking 3 complete breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Step the left foot forward. Inhale as you step up. Exhale, lower the right knee down. Inhale, hands up to the left knee and rest, pause, rejuvenate, rehydrate. Apply muscular energy through the hips and the pelvis and the lower abdomen so you're steady enough to lift the arms. And breathe complete and compassionate breaths. Shining more kindness, illuminating with mercy. Respecting with forgiveness. And lower hands down. And we're pivoting the back knee to the side, bringing the left elbow up onto the knee. And like you would in side angle, raise the right arm up and forward over the ear. Inhale, drawing that right armpit back. And exhale, integrating the shoulder blade into the back as you draw the navel to the spine and strengthen the inner thighs. If it's still compassionate for you, reach down to the floor with that left hand or fingertips. And release the right hand down, turning towards the front of the mat. And start to straighten the left knee. Inhale, soften, and exhale, squeeze the kneecap, hug the muscles to the bone. And flow compassionately into that stretch, one breath at a time. Mindful of each action. Now, start to release and step the left foot behind. Repeat downward dog. Spread the fingers, press the fingertips into the mat, lift up the knees. Inhale, broaden the shoulders, the back of the neck. And exhale, lengthen the spine, press the heels down. Each inhale, adding more kindness to the practice. Each exhale, dedicating more fully. Now, step the right knee behind the right wrist in pigeon. Walk the left knee back. Press down through the legs. Bring the hands to the hips. Roll the shoulders back. Apply more strength through the core, coming forward, and then walking the fingertips ahead. So you come eventually to the elbows if that's comfortable. Or deeper over the right hip. Where each breath can be complete and whole from beginning to end. Now lifting the head and shoulders, step the right foot back into stretch that leg, and now bring the left knee forward behind the left wrist and pigeon, and slide the right knee back. Inhale, lift the shoulders. Maybe you can hold on to the hips. Align the hips and shoulders face forward, and then draw up through the navel, in through the abdomen, and come forward a little bit at a time. Each exhalation, remembering to focus on that muscular energy in the core of the pelvis. Inhaling to expand our capacity for compassion and kindness, mercy and forgiveness. Getting to your comfortable stretch. And gradually lifting back up and stepping the left foot back. And inhale, bring the shoulders forward, lower the knees, roll forward the hips, chest, and then chin. Squeeze the legs together and press the toenails down. Push down through the hips, and with your inhalation, press the fingertips into the floor and lift the shoulders. Curling up into cobra, squeezing the buttocks. Inhale, lengthen through the neck, the toes. Exhale, concentrate to the core. Drawing the elbows in towards the midline, shoulder blades towards the spine. Holding one more breath. And releasing, rolling back down. Good. Now I'll extend my left arm 90 degrees to the side with a little bend in the elbow. Pressing the palm face down. Start to roll towards that side, up onto the left hip. Bend the knees for balance. Okay, so you can bind, if you wish, the right hand to the right ankle. It's a bit of a stretch there, maybe not worth it. Don't do it if it's painful. And take it slowly back down, releasing and bringing the left palm towards the mat. Extend the right arm out 90 degrees. Here, turn some. And a little bend in that right elbow. I'm going to start to roll up and on to the right hip. Using the left hand pressing down. And just feeling a nice gentle stretch through that inner shoulder, across the pectoral muscles. Again, some people like to do a bind of that top hand and foot. The side seems to be more agreeable than the other. You might notice a difference. And release back down, flat onto the floor. We use hands to push back up to child's pose. Widen the knees. And sit back towards the heels with the sitting bones low and gradually curl forward with the spine in a rainbow shape. You can make a support for your forehead with hands stacked here somehow. Get to where there's a little support for the forehead, but you're not pinching the back of the neck. You can still breathe into the back of the neck and spine. Then, when you're ready, come up to stand. Do a few standing poses. Walking to the front of the mat. Inhaling, rolling up. And turning the palms face forward. Draw the shoulder blades in, the navel to the spine. Press down through the soles of the feet evenly between the inner and outer edges, between the balls of the feet and the heels. And just feel this alignment of a plumb line from the crown of the head down through the soles of the feet. Then step the right foot back for warrior one. Bend the left knee. Rest the hands in the front knee so you can align the hips, strengthen the muscles of the legs to hold that alignment. Then extend the arms forward so you can still keep a long spine. Inhale, lift the shoulders a little more. And find your perfect pose. Expresses the compassion of your own lotus heart. Good, and release the arms, resting to your side. Stepping right foot forward, then the left foot back to warrior one. Bend the right knee. Use it to support yourself while you adjust the feet and align the hips, turning that outer left hip forward, pulling the right thigh bone back into the hip crease, into the hip socket. And finding balance, both hips are level. Then use that core strength to maintain the alignment while you lengthen the arms and lengthen the spine. Inhale, breathing the whole length of the spine and lifting the shoulders a little higher, keeping that length all the way down through the tailbone. Perfect. And rest. Bring the arms down. Step the left foot forward. Okay. Now stepping right foot back, warrior two. Turn the right toes to the side and bend the left knee. Now it's important to keep the hips level. You don't want one hip higher than the other. See? Keep both hips level and then open the arm, shoulder height. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. And exhale, tighten the inner thighs. Use the muscles to go deeper. We're not allowing gravity to overpower us. We're toning the inner thighs in a way that deepens the stretch. Now, bend the left elbow onto the knee and reach over the right ear with the right arm into a side angle stretch. Inhale, look up, draw the right armpit back. Exhale, pull navel to spine. Use the inner thighs to deepen the stretch. Some may choose to bring the fingertips, the left hand, down to the floor. Now bring the right hand down, pivot on the back foot so you can turn the right hip forward. Inhale, soften the left knee. And exhale, extend and straighten the left leg, folding in pyramid. Compassionately soften on the inhale. And exhale, and stretch to your comfortable capacity. Perfect. Step the right foot forward. And exhale, fold over straight legs. Inhale, soften the knees, sweep the arms up, touch the palms. And exhale, rest the arms, palms face forward. Breathing kindness, forgiveness, and compassion to soften the heart and understand others. Now, for the second side, step the left foot back and Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana. Start with the foundation, looking at the feet, squaring the back edge of the left foot to the end of the mat, aiming the right knee straight ahead towards the front of the mat. And now we have the hips open, facing the side. So hips wide, shoulders and arms spread. Inhale to the fingertips. Exhale, concentrate to the core and use thigh muscles to pull you deeper into the stretch. So there's a little give and take with each breath. So as you approach your edge, you do it with kindness, compassion, sensitivity. Now, bending the right elbow to the knee, extend the left arm over the ear. Inhale, roll the left shoulder back. And exhale, pull the navel in, tighten the inner thighs. The bigger the breath, the more full of compassion each pose is brilliant. Now pivot on the back foot, bring the left fingertips down and adjust, moving the back foot in or changing so that you're facing the front of the mat in pyramid pose, softening the right knee as you inhale and extending through the sole of the foot while pulling the thigh bone up and back into the hip socket. So lengthen the whole right side as you exhale. Compassionately soften as you inhale. Each breath an exercise in compassion and kindness. Now release and step left foot forward to meet the right. Inhaling, hands to knees. Then exhale and fold over straight legs. All right, come to seated. Dandasana, staff pose. Okay, press the heels down so there's a little bend and lift under the knees. Draw the lower back in as you roll the shoulders up and back. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown. And exhale, folding a little forward. Hands may be on the floor. Keeping the front of the shoulders from collapsing, keeping that inner body bright, the lotus of the heart blossoming. Exhaling, rooting the sitting bones deep, like the roots of the lotus, drawing nutrients from the earth, from the soil, from the mud. Until over a series of breaths, you find your comfortable edge where there's a complete breath in, filling the back of the spine and neck, and complete breath out, melting forward. Surrendering and softening the heart to be tender, loving, and compassionate. And rising up with an inhalation, sit tall. Now, bend the right knee to the side, Janu Shirshasana. And press the sole of the right foot into the left thigh so it draws muscular energy into the core and helps support through the strength of the lower back, a tall and balanced spine. All right. Keeping that straight line like somebody had a ruler right there against your spine. Start to come forward. Just an inch at a time. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, tighten the tummy. And breathe yourself into the perfect pose where wisdom and action are in perfect union. Never try and force the pose. Just respect what your body's telling you today. And release with an inhalation. Lift the head and shoulders. Extend the right leg. And when you're ready, change to the second side. Bend the left knee against, pressing the left foot into the right thigh. Strengthen the shin of the right leg so you have the sole of the right foot facing straight ahead. Okay, we're not kind of sickling off, falling off to one side. So we add tension in this outer shin, and strengthen again through the muscular energy of the thighs, the abdomen, the pelvic floor. Give your body lots of support. Root down to rise up and blossom here at the crown chakra. Sahasrara, bringing the crown of the head forward while keeping the heart blossoming. And perhaps you notice one side different than the other. Being sensitive to these differences, these imbalances in the body. And trying to bring more equilibrium. Just accepting whatever the body's offering you today and enjoy that. Start to release, inhale and lift the head and shoulders. And open both legs to a wide ankle. Spread the toes and spiral the inner thighs down towards the mat. Move the sitting bones back and apart. And then tighten the kneecaps. Strengthen the shins, flex the ankles, and use the core to press down through the sitting bones to lengthen up through the crown. Inhale, extend and lengthen, and exhale, begin to fold. Keep squeezing the kneecaps, draw the thigh bones deep into the hip sockets. And each breath full of compassion, full of kindness, mercy, understanding that we all have challenges, that we can understand one another's needs. Slowly rise, inhale, lift up, turn towards the left leg, and draw the left side of the rib cage back as you twist in the navel, turn towards that left leg, shoulders both facing over the left leg. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, and exhale, pull the navel in, begin to fold towards the left leg. Mercifully and kindly. Some people choose to cross that right hand over to the outside of the shin to give them enough leverage to really keep this alignment, folding with a twist. I use the left hand sort of pressing down and away to add to that twisting. Now inhale and lift the shoulders up and switch sides, moving over to straddle the right leg, pull the right side of the rib cage back, right? The right thigh bone seats deep into that hip socket, and either just straddling the leg, or some people cross one hand over to the outside of the shin. Begin to gradually fold towards that right leg. Inhale spaciousness into the back of the spine and neck. And exhale, draw the navel in a little tighter as you twist and fold. And releasing, lift the head up. And we'll come to, let's see, a revolved half head to knee. So bend the right knee, bring the right foot into the left thigh. And then press the left palm down against the floor, or some people will press down against that right knee. Lift up in the right arm and root down through the right sitting bone. So we're stretching along the right side of the waist, the rib cage, the hip, while turning to look up towards that right elbow. And many other variations you can experiment. Try maybe with the left elbow against the inside of the left thigh. Are you still able to keep the right sitting bone pressing deep into the mat? And then you can experiment with other variations as well. But always remember, this is compassion, kindness, and mercy. And not just the ego trying to see how far you can go. Bring the right hand down and we'll switch sides. Open the right leg, bend the left knee. Okay, Parvrita Parshvakonasana. This revolved head to knee pose. So simply pressing the right hand against the mat and lifting the left arm up is sufficient. Or you could try pressing the left knee down and stretching a little more to the right side, keeping that right shoulder and armpit back. So you're stacking the left shoulder over the right. You're pressing down through both sitting bones through this core strength of drawing the navel to the spine. And maybe you're experimenting, bringing the right elbow to the inner thigh, and stretching over the right leg a little farther. But just be mindful of any pinching in the neck or compression in the hips, that you can maintain a buoyancy and this joyful compassion to the body. And then release, lift up with an inhale, and extend out both legs so we can recline. And stretch the arms above the head, the toes in the opposite direction. And bring the arms down to the sides, lift up the knees, walk the heels up towards the sitting bones, making sure the feet stay parallel and don't turn out. Hug the shins to the midline, the inner thighs to the midline, and then press the feet and elbows down, lift the sides of the hips up, come up to bridge with the hands. You can support the buttocks, or clasp both hands under the back to draw the shoulder blades in and up under the heart. And blossom up through the lotus of the heart. As you inhale, spread the petals of the heart Unfurling. Exhale, strengthen the buttocks, the thighs. The bigger the breath, the more kindness in the pose. So keep the breath flowing. And then release the hands and roll the spine down. Rest the buttocks on the floor. Open the knees apart. Press the soles of the feet together. Inhale, letting the spine arch naturally. And exhale, drawing the navel down, the sides of the rib cage down, the lower back flattening. So there's a wave of movement through the spine with each breath that's uninhibited. Arching on the inhale and extending on the exhale. Now draw the knees in towards the chest. Hugging the shins. Lengthen the arms as you inhale. And tighten the abdomen as you exhale, bringing the knees a little closer. Now separate the knees a little wider, lift the soles of the feet to face the sky, and holding the back of the thighs or the calves, the ankles, some maybe holding the feet or toes. Then you draw the shoulders down as you pull the knees deeper towards the armpits, exhaling a little stretch. Inhaling, releasing a little. So breath by breath, you incrementally add to the stretch in a kind and gentle way. And letting the feet come back down, rest the feet to the mat and widen the feet to the width of the mat. Then open the arms like a cactus and twist both knees to the left like windshield wipers going over. Inhale and lengthen that whole right side of the waist, hip and rib cage. Exhale. And draw navel to the spine, getting a little more stretch in that twist. And lift the knees, inhale up, and windshield wiper knees to the right. Inhale along the left side of the waist and hip. And exhale, squeeze the navel. Hug the muscles to the bone. The bigger the breath, the more compassion, and kindness, and mercy. More full and tender the heart becomes. And slowly lift the knees back up. Extend the legs out for Shavasana. Bring the arms down along the sides, the body with the palms face up, and all the space you need to Stretch out the fingers, the toes, take up all the space you could possibly want. And begin to enjoy this peace and relaxation that you've earned in your practice of compassion. Inhaling to the lotus of the heart, letting it expand with light, and soften, be more tender and open, more forgiving and merciful, more kind and compassionate. And let this compassion from the heart begin to radiate throughout the body, feeling this glow of compassion spread down from the shoulders through the arms, and the elbows, and the wrists, and the palms of the hands, radiating compassion. And from the heart also spreading down the torso, down to the navel center, down to the sacral center, and down to the root center. Spreading down the legs, glowing, tingling with compassion, the knees, and in the ankles, and in the soles of the feet, shining with compassion. Now, your whole body shining like a star in the heavens, radiating compassion and kindness, mercy and forgiveness. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Now begin to deepen your breath and slowly awaken the muscles with stretching, movement, and finally to roll over to your right side in a fetal position, letting the mind come back to fully conscious, waking state. The body refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to sit up again in easy seated pose. I bow to the compassion in each of you. Namaste.